All right, so we have two more left for Pisces. So next we have the Saint, which is the Saint is the pure of heart version of Pisces. You can tell them just about anything. Remember when I was saying Pisces usually goes through a dark, uh, um, they go through a dark episode in their lives. They a lot of times turn into the saint when they're done with the dark side. Remember how it was talking about Sterling Wellington, how she went from stripper to pastor's wife. So you can tell them just about anything because they've been there, done that. They've been a sinner. They can understand just about anything you tell them just because they've been there. And just keep in mind that Pisces is the oldest sign of the zodiac. And Pisces, once again, has all those signs within it. So you can tell them anything. The only thing you really can't talk about with them is if you hurt someone, if you hurt someone innocent and you don't have any remorse. Sometimes this type of Pisces won't have a lot of compassion for you at that point. Um, Pisces is the superhero of the zodiac. Pisces rules superheroes. So just think of that superhero sort of mentality and temperament. That's what the saint is. They'll do anything to save someone. They'll risk their lives. They can be martyrs. Pisces is a sign of the martyr. And they usually have this mentality where they feel like everyone is worth saving, but there are those few people who are just that bad that sometimes this type of Pisces, um, you will make their wrathful side come out, or you will make their uncompassionate side come out if you're too far gone, so to speak. These are your born again Christians. They're not always Christian, though, of course, but you know the typical sort of born again Christian mentality and process that's very, very Piscean, coming from a place of a sinner and then transforming and seeing the light, so to speak. Pisces does deal with light, but it also deals with darkness. It deals with everything, really. But Pisces, if you look at like the stages that Pisces goes through. Every sign goes through three stages in mainstream astrology. Pisces' second stage is darkness, and then the third stage is the ocean. And the ocean is a symbol of the entire universe. It's the symbol of just everything you can think of existing in one space. So Pisces is the sign that is connected to God and spirituality and religion. Pisces also rules like temples, church, mosque, and mosque. So within that, Pisces, this type of Pisces sometimes feels like darkness and evil has its place. It's a part of that ocean. And it feels like everything is the way it is because it's supposed to be that way. So if you look at like Haitian voodoo, for example, in Haitian voodoo, there's a saying that, or in Haitian culture in general, there's a saying. I don't remember the exact translation, but it is when God smacks a good person, or no, it basically says like when God does something good for a good person, if God sees someone doing something good, he smiles. But if God sees someone doing something bad, he also smiles. So this type of Pisces could have that type of view on life in good and evil, where they don't necessarily feel like it's their job to destroy evil, but they just feel like it's their job to heal and protect those that are good, because evil is supposed to exist. It's a part of existence, and you're never going to get rid of it. You're never going to get rid of darkness, even though darkness isn't just evil, but darkness does symbolically represent evil for good reasons, in my opinion. So I mean that's that type of Pisces in a nutshell. They're all the good stuff. They're compassionate. They're understanding. Um, they're magical as well. Even though if they're the more religious type, they may not believe in magic, or they may not practice magic. Sometimes they, because Pisces is also a sign of science, um, and a lot of Pisces may see spirituality as a science, which connects back to that sort of African theme. I was learning from a YouTuber on here named The Medicine Shell that in pre-colonial Africa, especially in southeastern Nigeria, where the Igbo people are from, because that's what he focuses on. He focuses on the Igbo people and their culture and their beliefs and their history. He was saying how the Dibias, which is like their ritual specialists, I guess you can say. Well, he calls them spiritual scientists. He's like, they're scientists. They're not priests. People don't go to them to worship. Um, People go to them when they have a problem. And that's very, very, very Pisces. If you think about Albert Einstein, who is a Pisces. Pisces has a strong connection to science, and a lot of times this the way this saint type can kind of look at spirituality as it's just a science that is invisible, or that is misunderstood, or that is a little more right brain rather than left brain. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's the saint in a nutshell. Lastly, we have the nightmare, because I created a little bonus one, just because I felt like the other archetypes, even though they have darkness within them, they don't really speak to just how dark Pisces can be. Because if you read on the internet, a lot of people will even say Pisces dark side isn't that bad. Like, they'll just say Pisces dark side is about them being delusional, which it can manifest that way. One of the examples I saw was that, especially a lot of Piscean women could know that their man is cheating on them. Like, it's obvious as shit. They can damn near catch him cheating, and they would delude themselves. And when people are trying to tell them, hey, leave him, he's a piece of shit, he's cheating on you, we all know it. They'll be like, oh, no, 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 no. They'll delude themselves. And that is true. However, Pisces' dark side can be completely vicious. It can be unhinged. It can be fucked up. Pisces is definitely one of the signs that's very connected to serial killers. Uh, John Wayne Gacy, Richard Ramirez, Aileen Wuornos, those are our Pisces sun signs. And if I purposely looked up some more, if I were to do that, I'm sure I would find a lot more serial killers who have a good dose of Pisces energy. Pisces is one of those signs that I personally believe is sometimes just born evil. Some people think nobody's born evil. I strongly disagree with that. I think there are some people who are just born without empathy. Not having empathy doesn't also always mean that you're going to exploit people, but it does make it a lot easier to exploit people. And even though Pisces is the sign of compassion, remember Pisces is two fish, and it's two fish that represents the extreme ends of all things. It represents duality. And some astrologers say that one fish is a guppy and the other fish is a great white, or a barracuda, which is very Pisces. You have those Pisces who operate more in that barracuda or that great white sort of sense. And because Pisces is the sign of imagination and fantasy, you have those Piscean people that see reality, what you see around you, as just a fantasy. It's not really real. So it's like they're playing a video game. So they don't have empathy if they hurt someone. They don't have empathy if they lie to someone. They don't have empathy if they kill someone, if it goes that far. So some Piscean people just don't have that. And a Pisces that makes me think of that type of Pisces is Martin Shkreli. Martin Shkreli is Farmer Bro. His nickname is Farmer Bro. And he jacked up the prices of HIV medication so they were unaffordable. Just to make some buck. Just to make some money. Just to make a buck. And he did a lot of other fraudulent shit too. And he just comes off as that type of Pisces. Like, even when he was in court and they were going over the case, he was laughing and shit. Like, he's definitely that type of Pisces that's just born fucking twisted and born fucking evil. Now, the three Pisces I mentioned before you, I think trauma played a role in their development. Like I said, a lot of fucked up things can happen to Pisces. And like Richard Ramirez, for example, who has a lot of Capricorn in him, and a lot of his traits are very cold and demonic in a Capricorn kind of way too. But Richard Ramirez, um, he was abused as a kid, but like his one of his relatives, I believe, was in the Vietnam War, and was showing him like pictures of like all the things he did to people. He was telling him stories about how he sexually abused people. I think he even had like human remains as souvenirs that he told to that he showed to Richard Ramirez. And that particular relative, I think it was a cousin, actually killed someone in front of Richard Ramirez and had him help him clean it up. So ever since then, Richard Ramirez was just fucked from the start, to be honest. And then Richard Ramirez didn't heal or transform from that, and understandably so, because he was really young. That doesn't make his killings right or anything. I'm just saying it makes sense that he stayed fucked up. Um, but yeah, he became like the Night Stalker, and he became a serial killer. But he was more than just a serial killer. He actually believed that he was a Satanist, and he believed that he was doing this for spiritual reasons, which I believe too, actually. Um, so he was a little more than a serial killer. He was an occult killer. Um, so Mitchell Ramirez is an example of that. Aileen Wuornos was sexually abused as a kid. She was a prostitute, and she was supposedly sexually abused and assaulted several times while she was prostituting, which Pisces can be big liars. Sociopaths, serial killers, they're often big liars. However, I'm inclined to believe her just because that happens to a lot of women in general, but especially sex workers. So it's like, was she really lying? But I can also see her all out lying or even just embellishing just for sympathy. Pisces loves to get sympathy, and it just makes sense too when you're in court and and you're a woman. It's easy to play on these very real things that happen, even though they may not have happened to you, for sympathy. So I can get how she may have been embellishing, but yeah, she definitely was killing Johns left and right, and I don't know, like watching the movie, which definitely was not true to the story, the movie made me sympathize with her more, because like during the scenes where she was with the Johns that she killed, like she was having like flashbacks and shit. Like she really thought she was in those situations again, which, like I said, it can go either way with Aileen Moore knows if you look into her story. And then John Wayne Gacy, weird fucking ass. Um, he was abused by his father, but he was twisted. He was really twisted, and I dated a guy. Um, he doesn't look like John Wayne Gacy or anything like that, but just the tricky way John Wayne Gacy act. I dated a guy who's a Pisces, who made me think of him. Because John Wayne Gacy, there was a few times where he restrained people and tried to sexually assault them, and they got out of it. And then he was like, "Oh, I was just joking with you." That's very Pisces, and it just makes me think of the Pisces I dated, just because he would antagonize me. He would say some fucked up shit. That's another thing about Pisces. Pisces has the most ruthless mouth of the zodiac. Some people say Aquarius, some people say Pisces, some people say Scorpio. I see where they're coming from, but in my opinion, in my experience, nobody has a mouth like Pisces. A fucked up, evil Pisces, I'm not talking about the good ones. Even them sometimes, if you take them there, they will go there with your ass. Don't get me wrong, Scorpio is a sign that sees your weakness when they first meet you. A lot of Scorpios have that gift, and they will go for that thing if you piss them off. Sometimes verbally, sometimes physically, sometimes metaphysically. It just depends on the Scorpio and the situation. However, I feel like it's still not as bad as Pisces, because with Scorpio it's like one shot, one kill. You know, with Aquarius, for example, 'cause let's do them all. With Aquarius, it's more like they'll just tell you the truth, and a lot of times the truth hurts. And I'm the type of person, like, I got a lot of I got a lot of Scorpio energy, but I also have a lot of Aquarius and Sagittarius energy, so I'm always telling the truth to myself. So that doesn't hurt me as much. It's like, if anything, I'm gonna look at your ass and be like, "Yeah, that's the truth." And I'm gonna fucking laugh because it's the truth. What the fuck I'm gonna do about it? It's true. So that doesn't bother me as much. But there's a lot of delusional people out there, so I can see how that could just uproot their beliefs and how they look on their outlooks on life, and I can see how that can really fuck them up internally. Virgo, yeah, they can criticize you and they can chop you down to size. But I find Virgoan people, and sometimes Scorpios can be like this too, and Cancers, when they're coming at you verbally, a lot of times they'll like insult themselves. Because I'm sorry, Virgo can be very self-deprecating. And that makes me think of a rapper named Baby Mother. Like, she has this song called R.I.P., and it's basically about, I think it has more symbolic meanings, but it's basically about her killing herself. And she's like dragging like a guy she's dating through the mud, but she's also referring to herself as disgusting. And there's a few other songs where she's calling herself a flea. Like Virgos will go in on themselves while they're going on in on you. And like I said, Cancer and Scorpio can be the same way. So I can see how people could see these couple of signs and say they have the worst mouths. But I don't know, it's just something about Pisces when they go in on you, because they have no boundaries. So whatever it takes to make you feel bad. And the thing about Pisces, because their sense of perfectionism, and because they love fantasy, a lot of times they can see all things that are in reality as just being inherently just worthless anyway, including the person that they're, let's say if they're dating you. So when they start coming at you, it's just like you can feel the vitriol, you can feel the disgust, you can feel that they see you as nothing, you can feel that they don't care about you. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some things my grandmother, because my grandmother is a Pisces, my mother's mother is a Pisces, but I can't think of anything good. But I remember my mother was telling me how she used to tell them that she wishes they were born dead and shit. And like, just like to hear that as a child from your mother, like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. And I knew, I worked with a Leo who had a Pisces mother, and Leo and Pisces clash like a motherfucker. And she was saying how her mother was similar, and how her mother didn't mean anything by it. It's just how she talked. And that's sometimes how Pisces can be. They can just have a reckless ass mouth. And it's so weird because it's Pisces we're talking about. And Pisces is teddy bears and love and cuddling and rainbows and magic. And it's just all these cute, sweet things. And sometimes not. That's why part of the reason why I say Pisces anime is very Pisces. Because you'll watch a anime, and Madoka Magica is a very good example of this type of anime. It's literally about magical girls. So just think of Sailor Moon. It's all cutesy and bubblegummy, and it's pink, and they're wearing pink and yellow, and it's girly, and then some fucked up shit start happening. Right? It could just like uproot you. Anime can just completely uproot you like that. When you're like, I thought this was gonna be like cutesy and fun, and just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it could just be twisted. That's very Pisces. But back to John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, he would. when he would fail, because Pisces can be a failure. Like I said, it's a sign of the self-undoing. This does not mean that all Pisces are failure, because Pisces, once again, Pisces is a sign of the superhero and all these other incredible things. So it just depends on how you use your energy and how you self-reflect. But I will get on that on a different day when I talk about how to get the best out of each sign and what each sign is trying to tell us. But yeah, back to John Wayne Gacy. When he would fail at, how the fuck do you fail at tying somebody? I mean, I'm glad he did, but at the same time, I'm like, motherfucker, how are you? How are you gonna say I'm going to hurt this person? I am gonna do all these obscene things to this person, and you fail to fucking restrain them? Like you are, like that is pathetic. Sometimes Pisces energy is literally fucking pathetic, and it's just like, really, like. But I'm happy. Once again, I'm happy you failed. But he would play like, oh, I was just playing. And Pisces is a trickster. All the mutable signs are tricksters, but Pisces is a trickster, and Pisces will do that to you. And a lot of people have realized this, and how Pisces will speak to them. Back to how Pisces speaks to people, they'll speak to you sideways, and then they'll minimize what they said, or they'll just say, "Oh, I just meant this, I just meant that." Like, no, motherfucker, you meant exactly what the fuck you said, and you said it in a way you said it because you wanted to hurt this person, and now you backtracking. Yeah, Pisces can be cowardly too. Once again, not all. Some can be very fucking brave, but there's a tendency for Pisces to be cowardly. Let's be real. Um, but yeah, he was a piece of shit, and there was also, I believe, a ritualistic element to the things that he did as well. Um, More on a subconscious level for him. Pisces does rule the unconscious, um, and Cancer and Scorpio rule the subconscious, which where the subconscious and begins and the unconscious ends and etc. That's it depends on which psychological model you're looking at. Sometimes the subconscious and the unconscious are seen as one. I'm not an expert on those things, but I can understand that. They're all ruled by water signs, though. That darker side of your mind that controls your breathing, your heart rate, all these automatic things, that the part of your mind that controls your dreams and your intuition and all that good stuff, excuse me, is ruled by the water signs. But what makes me say that is the way John Wayne Gacy would bury his enemies. And to give you more information, John Wayne Gacy would sexually abuse and murder little boys. He was also a clown. I think his name was Pogo the Clown. Clowns are very Pisces as well. Remember makeup, disguising, and the makeup, using makeup to disguise or cast an illusion is different from like Libra makeup, which is meant to make you look good. Even though Pisces can use it that way as well. But he would yeah, lure boys into his home, do the things to them. I don't even want to say it, because like if you sexually abuse anyone, you deserve death. But if you sexually abuse a child, you really fucking deserve death. You deserve to be fucking tortured. You deserve to burn in hell many times over. Like, cause that's just, I don't even fucking like kids, but that's just the most twisted thing you can do in my opinion. Is, and then just like, what do you find attractive about a child? Like, they're underdeveloped. They ain't got no hair on their balls yet. They ain't got bird chested, the head bigger than their torso. They got this little bitty neck. They cry all the fucking time. Like, like I just can't see. They don't even blow their own nose and wipe their own ass half the time. So I'm just like, what the fuck are you getting turned on by? Like, you're see. That's what I think that there is, because like I said in Scorpio video, I don't believe that all demons are evil. I think demons are beings of darkness, and darkness encompasses so many things, and one of those things is evil, but there's many other things hidden in that darkness. But I do believe some demons are evil and twisted, and it makes me think that he had some sort of spiritual attachment to some, or he was one. Because, like I said, Pisces doesn't have any boundaries, and they're very easily possessed. They're very easily taken over by spirits. Once again, just think of African people and African cultures and African diasporic people. In every African centered or African diasporic religion, spiritual system, whatever you want to call it, possession plays a role. I'm not saying they're being possessed by demons, but I'm just saying possession plays a major role in every, even Black Christianity in the West. Like they can call it being slain by the Spirit, catching the Holy Ghost, all that good shit. It's the same possession. You go to fucking West Africa, you're gonna see the same fucking thing. It's the same thing. And it just, that's very Piscean, being easily taken over by spirits, or just being very open to that spiritual world. Even if you're not taken over by spirits, you can see them, you can hear them, you can feel them. You know when there's a spiritual entity around. You just know. Sometimes it's just knowing. Pisces can be very like that. Like I was saying, the way he buried those kids under his home, because I'm just like, if I'm trying to get away with a murder, I'm not burying anyone under my home. And it's important to realize, back to the race of Pisces, African people, a lot of African people bury their ancestors under their home to keep them in close proximity. Why did he want those kids that he sexually abused and murdered under his home? Like, I have so many questions, and I just have this feeling that he was doing something on a more ritualistic angle, and maybe he didn't realize it consciously. I also want to point out that John Wayne Gacy didn't get caught. Now, there were people who were saying things. There were rumors going around that, he was hurting children and stuff like that, but he never got caught. I think that he met with cops one day. No, just to be real, part of that is white privilege. I'm not trying to attack white people or anything, but like, same thing with Jeffrey Dahmer. He talked to the cops. This young Asian boy was clearly like high as shit, like didn't know where he was at. He's like, oh, that's just my friend, and the cops didn't investigate. Like, the fuck? And like, you have this woman calling you, back to back black woman, so just don't believe what she's saying, I guess. So it's like, some of that is that white male privilege, especially white males. That white male privilege, oh, he's inherently good, and it's just like, okay, you don't see what's right in front of your face. But John Wayne Gacy admitted, I think he was talking to a detective, which I don't know. I want to look into that detective and seeing what's in his chart, because there could be some Scorpio or something in his chart that makes, because Scorpio can have an energy where they make you tell the truth, where they just pull it out of you. It's a spiritual thing, and Scorpio is one of those signs that reveal hidden things. It can hide things. All three of the water signs can hide things, especially Pisces. Pisces deal with the invisible world. Remember, Pisces deals with oceans. There's a whole dark side of the ocean where we can't go when we don't know what's in there. It could be monsters, it could be fucking ships, it could be bodies, it could be all the above. We literally can't go there, and the pressure down there will just kill you anyway. So we don't know what's down there. So we don't know how far it is, we don't know how big it is, we don't know how deep it gets, we don't know if it gets even darker. Like, is there some light down there? Are the mermaids down there kicking it? Like, we don't know. So Pisces can be very, 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 very good at hiding shit, and he was very, very, very good at hiding shit. And he just told on himself one day. He just told the detective, "Yeah, I just nonchalantly." So I find that interesting. I probably will do some more digging on these individuals, because they're Pisces, and Pisces is interesting and alluring. So, and I just find it fascinating the way he did things, and the fact that he never really got caught. Like, he told on himself. So I'm just realizing that he told on himself, and like I known that for a while, but just I'm really processing that he just told on himself. And who is this person that he just told on himself to? So stay tuned. I might have to, dig a little deeper into that. But this concludes my Pisces video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know you all had to wait a whole last year to get it, so sorry to all the Pisces. I hope you found this accurate and entertaining. If you didn't, let me know in the comments. If you have any Pisces in your chart, let me know if you have any Pisces, or if you have a prominent Neptune or 12th house. I covered that too. If you know a lot of Pisces, let me know. Maybe your mother's a Pisces, father's a Pisces, your partner is a Pisces. Do you like Pisces? Do you not like Pisces? Do you think I missed something? Do you think I said something that's not really Pisces? Let me know in the comments. Until next time. Peace.